Thank you for providing us with the opportunity to present to the IRMS Public Service Group. As a business owner, consultant and the designer of a.k.a. software, I have multiple roles. A lot of my time is spent developing data models for taxonomies, retention schedules, and lately for information asset registers. It's quite a challenge taking a set of functional requirements and reworking them into a data model that has utility for multiple stakeholders. Given that information asset management is an essential control tool for digital continuity, we've decided to build our own data model for managing information assets. I'm going to walk you through the data modelling process. We used the T&A guidelines to give us an overview of requirements. It's interesting how much emphasis is placed on relationships and dependencies between the data elements. Obviously, it's going to be much easier to manage these links using a relational database tool, which is what a.k.a. was designed to do. It's normal to pass through a number of stages when building a data model. The conceptual data model represents the abstract view. The logical model identifies all of the entities and the relationships between them. The data is described in more detail, but without regard for how it will be physically implemented into a specific database. The physical model is a fully attributed data model that is dependent upon a specific version of a technology, i.e. an Excel spreadsheet, or in this case, a.k.a. The model is restricted to the functionality of the software tool. This is the conceptual data model which evolved from the T&A guidelines. It's a starting point that gets us underway, but we need more information before we can build the logical data model. Such as, who is going to use this information? Do we need to conform to specific standards, such as risk and security standards that they use? How are they going to use this information? We should take into account needs to filter, group and sort information assets to suit particular purposes. And therefore, what type of fields are appropriate? Multi-line fields are good for descriptive text, but they can't be filtered, so they need to be augmented with checkboxes and lookup sets. And it would be advantageous to link to existing information controls, such as business classification schemes, retention schedules, and organisation charts. So our model continues to evolve. This is the logical data model, which is system independent. We've split up the fields into 5 logical groups based on the involvement of various stakeholders. And this is the shape of the physical data model, which will be reflected in our software. Given that we're using a.k.a. software, we have a lot more options with regards to field types and relationships. In our model, you can see that fields are arranged into logical tabs for data entry, and links have been built to other datasets in a.k.a. Data consistency is managed through the use of lookup sets. Functions are sourced from the business classification scheme. Records classes are sourced from the retention schedule. And asset owners and users are sourced from the organisational structure. We've built in a risk matrix to automatically calculate risk levels. And these are the data entry forms in a.k.a. software that reflect the model. Here is the tab for basic details, followed by business value, business and information risk, technology environment, and lifecycle management. This design can now be replicated and recreated in any a.k.a. database. However, the design is fully customizable and can be easily modified to accommodate any additional requirements. We've built our own information asset register to this model, and there are multiple ways in which we use it. We can publish to the web to use as a reference document. You'll find examples of online outputs on our website. Or we can produce targeted searches and reports by filtering on specific fields, such as the checkboxes for vital records, privacy protected, and intellectual property. And given that we're about to do a migration from SharePoint 2007 to 2013, we're able to plan the migration using this knowledge. No point spending thousands of dollars migrating obsolete databases with no retention requirements. The design of this information asset register has delivered on multiple fronts. In the design, we've married the needs of the business, IT, risk, records, and archives. We now have a better view of our information assets and liabilities. We can plan more effectively for backups, migrations, data protection, disposal, and digital continuity. And through our own experience, we know we can provide more support to our customers who also use a.k.a. for this very purpose. If you would like more information about a.k.a. and designs for information asset registers, you can visit our website or contact us directly via email. Please enjoy the rest of the sessions.